I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. The resume we have up first is truly awful, and I know this because they told me that. So this is for a data analyst resume, and their ratio is garbage. And what a ratio is how you can tell how good your resume is. It's basically how many applications it takes to get an interview. If your ratio is under 50, so for every 50 applications it takes you to get one interview, that's a good ratio. If it's above that, it's garbage, and this person's is 150. So I have gotten plenty of data analyst jobs before, so let me tell you all what we need for a data analyst. That is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, and explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. Part of your job is going to be dealing with Elon Musk, and I say that not really as a joke. Like, Elon Musk changing Twitter to X is a terrible idea. And as a data analyst, you will have to go to the CEO, the CTO, somebody high in the C-suites, or product or project manager and say, hey, look, the numbers say if we change X to Y or change Twitter to X, it's a bad idea. And I need to see that in your resume. I need to see that you have convinced people, all right? It doesn't necessarily have to be stakeholders, but it is a giant boon if it is. And I also need to see that you explain complex topics to non-technical stakeholders as well, because some of these people cannot write an email, and you have to explain to them why a Monte Carlo simulation was a bad idea. And then I need to see how you solved a problem with the data, not what the data is. This is like the most common data analyst mistake is you all tell us how you got the data when nobody cares. We just want to know what the data was used for. Then I need to see MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects, and deadlines. Well, if you have Python, you probably don't necessarily need R. That is what I need to find. So can I find that in 20 seconds, which is all the time that recruiters have to find what they need? And the answer to that is no, because this is 150 plus to 1 ratio. So I'm not going to be able to find it. That's usually I'm able to find everything if it's a 1 in 50 with some difficulty. If I'm able to find it in the first 5 to 8 seconds, it's usually a 1 in 7 to a 1 in 10, which is what my advice gets people, by the way. If you follow my advice, you get 1 interview per 7 applications. That is the average for people that follow my advice. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see where they don't have and what they do have, and go. Formatting's bad, degrees good, analyzed output of 5+ machine learnings. Okay. Partner with engineers saying to transfer model metrics into actionable insights, accelerating issue. You need to explain this better. Documented validation, finding and checks. That doesn't matter. Analyze experimental data, improving. Okay. Yeah. So this is a bad resume. So here's what they did wrong, and they misunderstood what recruiters and hiring managers. I don't believe in giving advice that's only good for recruiters. I think that's bad advice. I give advice that's good for both recruiters and hiring managers for your resume. So you misunderstood what we are looking for. People assume that recruiters are keyword hunting, and that's not true. We are qualification hunting. That is what we hunt for. And the difference between a keyword, which is basically a keyword is what the hiring team needs, right? Like if the hiring team needs somebody that has done SQL and influenced stakeholders, that would be considered a keyword. Recruiters don't call it that, but candidates do, so I refer to that for y'all. So that would be considered a keyword. But we're not hunting for those, we're hunting for qualifications. And a qualification is keyword plus how you did it, plus the business reasons you did it, plus where you did it. And if it's not those 4 things, it is not a qualification. So while this person has the keywords, they don't have the qualifications. So let me go through and explain how you would fix this. So first off, fix your formatting. This is very, very, very difficult to read. You do not want this little line over here. Nothing here should be bolded. Your resume should look like this. This is on my website. It's in the link below. This is how to do it. This is what your resume needs to look like, unless you are a high-level director or a job hopper, then there's a different format. But otherwise, that will work. So that is what you need. And then again, we don't want these weird little lines under here. And then nothing here should be bolded. No bolds at all there. And then we get into the bullet points, which is actually the big problem with this resume. So, analyzed outputs of 5 plus. Why does it matter that you analyzed 5? This is irrelevant. I don't care that you did 5 plus production models using machine learning, identifying methodology gaps that reduce prediction errors by 12. No. So, the problem is this doesn't describe why that's important. Why is it important that you reduce production errors? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Why did you analyze the outputs of this? I don't know. It's for production errors. Who cares, right? And I don't care about 12%. The 12% means nothing. I have yet to see a single job description that says you must increase production error or reduce production errors by a minimum of 12% or else we're not moving forward. Not a single job description has that. So I need you to fix this sentence and instead just say, used Python, SQL, and machine learning models to reduce our production errors for X, and the X will be the reason you reduced it. Partnered with, what do you mean partnered? How did you do that? I don't know. Partnered is not a good word. I want to know what you did specifically. Partner doesn't tell me. Partnered with engineers and business stakeholders, okay, to translate model performance metrics into actionable insights. Okay, again, I'm not looking for this, right? I'm not looking for you to partner with stakeholders. I'm not looking for you to translate model performance insights. I want you to write that for an audience that is dumber than you, okay? Mainly not even like intellect. I'm just saying in industry, because you can't really understand someone's entire industry in 20 seconds. But that's the only amount of time that we have. So instead of whatever you wrote there, I would say explain complex model metrics for our stakeholders so that they could X. Because what is actionable insights? I don't know. You did not tell me. Actionable insights could be a lot of things. Documented validation findings and data. This actually has nothing I need right here. So I need 75% of these in qualification format. And if you do not have 75% of those in qualification format, you will get rejected. So analyzed experimental and operational data. Why? Using Python and SQL. Okay, good. Improving setup efficiency. Why do I care about setup efficiency? This means nothing. Monitored system and data performance metrics. Okay, resolving software issues per semester. Well, why is that related? That's not. So there's a big issue of people putting in hot dogs when people are looking for hamburgers. So I want you to imagine that you're hungry, all right? You're hungry. You go to a restaurant and you're like, hello, waiter, I would like 1 hamburger, please. And they say, okay, what do you want on your hamburger? You say pickles, cheese, onions. They say pickles, cheese, onions. You say pickles, cheese, and onions on my hamburger. They say that's it. You say that's it. And then they go back and they bring you a hot dog with pickles, cheese, and onions. And you would look at them and be like, hey, I wanted a cheeseburger with pickles and onions. And they say, yeah, this is what you wanted. This is a hot dog, because a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns just like a hamburger. A hot dog has onions, cheese, and pickles like a hamburger. Thus, this is what you wanted. You would rightfully be upset and leave. And that is the problem that you did here, is built and standardized data tracking, logging, reporting issues, improving data consistency and reproducibility for coursework and research is a hot dog. You know what's an actual hamburger? MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL. You did have Python, you did have SQL, so that is good. But where's the data visualization? Again, you cannot imply you've done X. That is like rule number 3 of the resume creation is, if it's implied, it doesn't exist. And the recruiter that doesn't follow that gets fired, so you can't tell us like that's a bad way to do it. No, that's actually a good way to recruit. It seems insane, but it's due to the volume we have to do. So I'm going to need you to scrap this entire resume and redo it both in better format and with bullet points that actually matter. Because if you just said, created a machine learning model, like, I wouldn't even go with that. I would say created data visualization, Tableau/Power BI for our stakeholders, where I explain complex technical topics using Excel, macros, pivot tables, so they could X would be a better sentence. Like, I need you to write them for what they're asking for, because right now this resume is filled to the brim with hot dogs, and honestly, if we're going to keep with the food metaphor, other food stuff that's not even related to hot dogs. So, like, everything down here in your skills section is exactly what I need. The problem is, again, and I don't think people can even see it because it's like all the way down here. Yeah, I don't think it's all the way down here is their skills section. But everything in that skills section is what I'm looking for. But again, I'm not keyword hunting. I am qualification hunting. And because those things in the skills section are not under a job, an internship, or a project, and they do not tell me how you do it and the reason and result of you doing it, it doesn't count. So that is why this data analyst resume is garbage. Again, that doesn't mean you're garbage. I want to be clear. Your resume does not define you as a person. It just means you don't know how to write a resume, and that's fine. That's what I'm here to teach you. And if you ever need more help, you can always join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and Twitch at twitch.tv/headlesshunter. I find these and I help you out a little bit more than I can in the YouTube video. So thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and I want to give an extra special thanks to my members. They get access to videos a little bit early. If you want to join, you can join so in the link below, but thank you very much for supporting me, to my members and everybody else. But thank you so much, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a Python software engineer. So what we need for a Python engineer is Python. You need that. SQL, weirdly enough, any SQL. It's one of the few things where it doesn't matter what one you have, as long as you have SQL, you have SQL. Docker, cloud, so either Azure, AWS, or GCP, and if you have GCP, you need to put Google Cloud Platform. RESTful API or REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, and then either AI, which I cannot list all the AI, but it's typically going to be agentic stuff, or full stack, with a focus more on Python than full stack. Those are what it's broken down into. And then nice to haves are Fast API, Flask, Django. Rarer that I've seen are ETL, Java, OAuth, MongoDB, microservices architecture. Probably don't need those. So this resume gets, we don't know. They have not been actively applying, but they're just going by what insights and made those changes, hopefully inching closer to a pass. So let's see if they did it. Probably not, because they immediately see a skills section, and the skills sections are worthless. So 20 seconds is on the clock, and go. Okay, good. Okay, this doesn't matter. Engineered a Python PostgreSQL security compliance into the scans virtual machines, cutting manual input time. I need a little bit more. Built a real-time SQL synchronous pipeline in Python. You already mentioned pipeline. The rest of this is, okay, design REST APIs with, this is a hot dog, and time. You know, this is actually, okay, so this is bad. But this is not a delete this and start again bad, because the fix for this is actually pretty easy. A lot of people say you need to keyword stuff. They're wrong. The first resume, they did not tell me how they did it or the reason and result of doing it, which is why they failed. This resume actually tells me the reason and result and the how. The problem is they don't tell me the what, which is the keyword. So this is one of the few resumes where you actually just kind of need to take what's here and cram them down into what is in this work history, because you actually wrote the sentences correctly. You just missed the key part of the sentence. So we first off need to delete this, because again, nothing here matters. Skills sections are worthless. Worthless, do not have. And then, is there something off with your formatting? I don't think there's a ton if there is. There shouldn't be this big of a gap between those. And I think there's a slightly too big gap here, but that's very minor. Again, the big issue is engineered a Python and PostSQL, good. But remember, you need 3 keywords per bullet point at a minimum, a maximum of 6. 3 to 6, and this one only has 2. So engineered a Python PostgreSQL security compliance engine that automatically scans virtual machines. In fact, you can just say which cut our manual audit prep time. There we go. Like that is fine. But the problem is, again, I need more keywords, which I hate saying because most resumes don't have this problem, but I need more. I need you to take what is here and put them into here. And then you don't want to mention Python down here because you already mentioned it up here. Remember, do not double up with the same keyword in the same job. It's good to have Python. Oh, geez, where else? So it's good to have Python here, and it's good to have Python here, but it's not good to have Python here and here. All right, so don't double it up in the same job. And here, yeah, you already put it over here. So this, oh, you've only been here since January? There's no way this is 4 bullet points. You've been there 3 months. You don't, like, why are you actually searching for a job after 3 months? If anything, this is a little bit concerning, the fact that you've only been there for 3 months and you're looking for a job. That's actually a bit of a red flag. I missed it because the rest of this was bad. But you may want to even remove this. And you've been in here for 4 months, 5 months. That's bad. You need to either delete this first one or you need to explain why you've only been here for a short amount of time. If this was an internship, that's fine, but you need to then put internship. But the fact that you have these two right next to each other, very, very bad sign. Hiring managers hate that. So I need you to go back to the drawing board. I need you to put in the stuff that's here, right? And then if anything, I think you may want to even delete this. Probably delete this and then keep this down and put a little bit more Python in it. Because this is concerning. So, next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. We don't know their ratio, and they say, I'm looking for full stack roles, sometimes just front end and back end, but then I delete the irrelevant experience. I don't have an exact number, but recently, like every 20 to 30, I get a phone call. The thing is, I often apply, but bit above my ability for higher seniority. So, yeah, I mean, look, if you're getting a 20 to 30 to 1, that's actually a good ratio. So it is working. I would still recommend having separate resumes, but rather than just one that you keep deleting and because it's easier to make a mistake on that. But 20 to 30 is good. So I'm expecting to find what I need for a full stack software engineer. So what we need is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React, React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL or NoSQL, RESTful API, REST API, Cloud, any of them, CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for all that other stuff. So I am expecting to find most of that. 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Okay. Okay. So, develop front and back end using React, JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, cross-familiar for international clients. Okay, good. Set up a development environment on Mac OS, Docker tools such as PostgreSQL, Cloudflare. I don't know if that's needed. Train YOLO on Google Cloud using Python, OpenAI, utilize AI tools, and time. Yeah, this has... So, also, the name is hilarious because that's... I get what they did there. So this has a little bit too much hot dogs and not enough of what I really, really, really want, but it does allow me to find it. So full stack software engineer available full-time in a hybrid remote role format within the X region. Active student status, graduating legally employable. Okay, this is actually the use of a summary. I actually like the use of the summary because it says you are legally, because of X, you are able to do Y. I would prefer like you don't need sponsorship or something if it said that, but otherwise this is good. And then we go down to here, and then you kind of gave me just a little too many hot dogs. So first off, don't say HTML5 or CSS3 or even Tailwind. At least in the US, I don't think I've ever seen a job that really requires that, only like one. You really just want to keep it to HTML, CSS. Again, I don't know if you need the word collaborating, but you can just say within a cross-functional team to deliver full-stack applications. So that is fine. Like, this is a slightly better sentence. Then set up local development environments on Linux and Macs. Again, I don't really think that's needed. Postgre is S3 storage. You need to tell us what that is. And then the rest of this doesn't really matter. Good explanation, not what I'm looking for. Also, where's your education? You did say high school, so that did count. All right. And then trained a YOLO model on Python. See, I would prefer you just start with Python, right? Used Python PyTorch to develop an OpenCV using YOLO to extract complex data from project images. And then that can be your second bullet point. Utilize tools. Again, my phone is... We are back. Sorry, had a candidate that I needed to talk to. So, right. So last we had was stated that talking about putting Python first and then collab in one bullet point. So, yeah, I would like this to add a little bit more, and I think this is second because we need that. But let me go through to see what we have. So, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, good, we have. You don't have a degree, but you did explain it, so that's good. React, we did have, good. I don't think I see Node.js. I did see Python. I did see a little bit of AI, which is good. So the thing that I'm really missing here is, oh, there it is towards the bottom, right? Like collaborate, don't say collaborated, say how did you work, right? Used Git, worked with other engineers using Git and GitHub for versioning, code management, and DevOps. So this should be higher up and you need to rephrase it. But that is Git. I don't see CI/CD. So my big issue is I don't see RESTful API. I did see SQL. I don't see Node.js, Angular, Next.js, RESTful APIs, REST APIs. I don't see Cloud, which is pretty big. You really do want Cloud, unless I missed it in the small break we had. And then I don't see CI/CD. So I think what you could really... Also, you've only been here for 3 months. Why are you people putting like 18 bullet points for a job you've been at for 3 months? Now, this does make sense because you're an intern, right? That's okay. You say intern. In fact, I would actually move this just to make sure they notice. Is I would put intern full stack software engineer just to make sure they know that's an intern. But otherwise, why you don't need 7 bullet points to describe 3. You should probably only have 3 bullet points for this. And then we go down to here, and yeah, this is actually solid. I mean, I'd like a little bit more of the reason and results, and again, I'd like some AWS, but this is not bad. I would want to see more of it. So yeah, I don't know why you have 7 bullet points for a job you've been at for 3 months, even if it's an internship. But it does at least have enough stuff that I see. I think the real problem is the not full degree, the no cloud. The no cloud is pretty detrimental. They really like you to have cloud. And so just like tighten this up, but otherwise it's a good thing. Next resume. This is a resume of another full stack software engineer. So I don't need to say this stuff. We already know what it is. This is a bad resume. They're getting 150 plus. So I'm not expecting to find a lot of what I need. So 20 seconds on the clock. And, or maybe this is their new one. We'll see what they say. And go. Okay, formatting's bad. This I need to be changed. You already got this, so it doesn't matter. Owned front-end architecture using React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, and JS for a learning management system. What do you mean owned? Integrating AWS and GraphQL with custom Lambda results. Again, you didn't tell me the reason or result. Built a decoupled tutor enabling... Okay. Architected front-end using React and time. It's not the worst. I think if you were not an international, you would probably get 1 in 75, maybe 1 in 100. but as an international, your ratio is going to go worse. So I get people a 1 in 7. For internationals, that is usually going to be a 1 in 30 to a 1 in 100. So let me read what they wrote. Hey, Lee, hope you're doing well. I'm an F1 OPT, and I've been applying for jobs in full stack front ends in the last 7 to 8 months. I had also got my resume reviewed by you, and I used your resume, but got no callbacks. Yes, because this is not the template. Using this new format was only able to get 1 interview, so I want to know if I should change in my resume. Yeah. So the big thing is, the formatting is a little bit off, right? The second one is your bullet points are not, you don't tell me enough, right? So JavaScript, HTML, CSS, good. Node, nah, where did Node go? Node.js, good. Next.js, good. AWS, good. The problem I have here is there's so much here. This is like the previous resumes, they put too much in this, or not enough in each sentence. You put too much in this sentence. Each sentence should have a maximum of 6, right? I need a maximum of 6 keywords. So you actually need a little bit more. Again, I don't know why you have a skills section down here. But the goal will be to get you a 1 in 30 to a 1 in 100. Also, you can't really count anything between the numbers, the months of November and December, because those don't count. Those are the weirdest and lowest amount of hires per year. So we need to fix your first sentence, which is, I don't want to say owned. I just say built the front end architecture using good in an AWS environment, right? And then I don't know why you did this. Like, what is a resolver for whatever, and GraphQL can be in another one, and you added too much here. So it should just be this, and then you needed to explain how you did the reason you did that. So this is the reason right there. And then built an AI tutor and content generator. You can just say AI tutor using Python and OpenAI. Okay, that's a little bit of AI. That's fine. It has Python enabling blah, blah, blah. But why? Like, I need a little bit more. And then again, I need more of these in there, because this only has 2 keywords. And then we go down to here, and it's not bad. It's just too much. Like, it's so much. And you're competing with so many other people as an OPT, which brings me up to this is F1 OPT authorized to work in the U.S. You need to describe this better, because so you want to describe, if you're not going for the H1B, then you can describe this. Then you can say, I do not need H1B services as I'm on an OPT and will not be seeking them. But if you are seeking those services, which most people are, then nothing you put in here is going to matter. In which case, then you don't want any of this, because it doesn't matter. This is going to be your biggest roadblock. So I need you to make these... I can see why this got a interview, but you're going to need to make it better, because right now it's way too condensed. And this does not look like this. Does not look like this. And remember, you cannot count the ratio during November, December. November, December is just nobody hires during that time, right? Like the biggest hiring booms of the year are January, February, and March. And then it's normal throughout the rest of the year, except for two little spikes in quarter 2, quarter 3. And then quarter 4, though, there's like no hiring. So you can't count quarter 4. So next resume. This is a resume of another data analyst. So ignore that right here. It's not, it is data analyst. So data analyst, we already know what we need. We did that from the first one. So 20 seconds on the clock. This person is, what is their ratio? We don't know, but let's find out. And go. Okay, degree, good. SQL, Python, AWS to build churn and credit risk models and customer data. Perfect. Design Power BI dashboards, ETL, finding executive PowerPoint, influence budget decisions. Great. Measure for 3 agile projects. Okay. Is there anything actually I'm missing? This is fantastic. Okay, yeah. So this passes. Now, this person does need an immigration services. So again, it's still probably only going to be at best 1 in 30 to 1 in 100. But this does pass. There's a couple of minor tweaks I would change about it, but this is overall good. So should I go ahead and start applying? Yeah, you absolutely should. I think this is a good resume. I don't know if it's 1 in 30, but you should hopefully at least get 1 in 100 with this. So here's how I would tweak it and make it a little bit better. Triage to mitigate. This is fantastic. I don't have any notes for the first page. So let's go through here. So we got SQL, good. We got Python. I should probably remove R. I don't actually think we need R anymore. And we have cloud, nice to have. So I would prefer you to have one other thing here that wasn't just cloud, because this is 2 and a bonus, and I want you to get the other stuff first. But it does at least say the industry. And again, these are minor complaints, but remember, you're on the toughest climb right now because you're on a visa. So, design Power BI dashboards, good, with ETL. Okay, perfect. In fact, I would say designed Power BI data visualization dashboards with ETL. I would actually state data visualization dashboards on that one. Finding, and again, to PowerPoint presentations that influence stakeholder, perfect. Certain subject extra for 3, perfect. Deployed NLP. This is the part where I'm like, I don't know if there's anything here that we need. I do like a little bit of AI, which is nice. And then built AI AWS with KPIs. See, I don't know if there's anything here that's needed. And I don't know if there's anything here that's needed. But I do see how you solved a problem with data. I do see Excel, Word, ETL. I do see multiple projects. Do I see deadlines? Yes, I do. I do see you influence stakeholders. And did I see? I don't know if I see you actually explaining complex topics to them, but overall this is good. So I'm not sure these bullet points are needed, and you should probably add a little bit more here. And again, AWS is a nice to have, so I would maybe fit in something like enabling a risk team to triage, let's see, build training cluster models to data, and explain the complex technical topics to non-technical teams, enabling them to risk triage. So maybe you could put in the technical stuff here or not, but I need a little bit more here. I don't know if these are needed. These seem like pretty much hot dogs. And then this one needs a little bit more, but otherwise this is fantastic. And if you were not if you did not need a visa, you would probably get a 1 in 7 to a 1 in 10. It's just, again, the hardest job search of your life is going to be with the visa. It's unfortunately the case. So that's all I can do for this one, but otherwise it's good. The only other exception is you don't want to just state United States. You want to state where you're actually living, because even though it is common for immigration people to move, the people may not know that. So we really do want to show that you are moving to X by Y date, and you don't want to just put United States. But overall, good resume. It passes. It's just you're still going to be in for an uphill climb. So that's all I can do for this video. Thank you all for watching and liking and commenting, subscribing. I appreciate it. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and YouTube right here. And to all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you for supporting me. I'm a small channel, and your support means a lot to me, so thank you very much. And if anybody else wanted to be a member, they can join in the link below. But otherwise, that is it for me in this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.